Hi there, my name's Natalie Whiting. I am the BSN Tutor Coordinator for Samuel Merritt University. I am a student at the Oakland campus and I will be graduating this December 2021. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the peer tutoring program and what platforms are great to use for video conferencing and meeting with your tutees. So Upswing is the primary platform that the peer tutors use. It is excellent to keep your biography, your background, your credentials all on there for tutees to read and review before they meet with you. However, I have found that there has been some challenges using the platform itself for video conferencing and meeting with tutees online. It's been a little glitchy. Sometimes cameras have not been able to be turned on or microphones. So I've pretty much stopped using that platform as far as meeting with my tutees. And I've used other platforms and really explored with what is out there. Just a quick overview on what it means to be part of the peer tutoring program. It takes patience to be highly organized, and it takes integrity. A great model that you can use for getting to know your tutee's learning style is the VARC questionnaire. So you can recommend to your tutees to check that out, and it'll be very beneficial for them in turn as well because they'll learn their learning methods, their learning styles, and it'll be helpful for both ends. Okay, so different types of video conferencing platforms. There are a ton out there on the market right now, and they're all competing against each other, especially with the transitions we've made to this online world in the last year. So just a few here. These are probably like the more popular ones that are out there. We have Zoom, Webex, Google Meets, Microsoft Teams, and Skype. And to me, Skype, I feel like that's been around for the longest amount of time, but it is a video conferencing platform nonetheless. I don't know how much more feature it has today versus when it first started. I am primarily going to focus on the first three because they are the ones that I have found to be the most beneficial for peer tutoring. Okay, to start, I'll start with Zoom because this is one of the most well-known ones out there right now. A lot of people prefer to use Zoom and they like it a lot. So some pros with Zoom, there is an unlimited amount of one-on-one meetings that you can have with your tutees. So for instance, if you're just meeting with one tutee, one individual tutee, there will be no time limit on meeting with that tutee, which is great. It does have really good HD clarity. It does have a recording option as well. This saves directly to your computer as an MP4. You should get the desktop app. That way there is not any major technical errors. This is what it looks like. I screenshot that. Zoom does require creating an account to use it. Some cons with Zoom, if you wanted to have multiple participants on at a time, so you're doing a group tutoring session, there is a 40-minute limit with the free version. You can pay more for the premium version and get unlimited time, but I've even heard some stories from people that had paid it and then it was still kicking them off. So that's a con of Zoom, in my opinion. I never paid for the upgraded version. I've just kind of chosen the different platforms depending on how I'm going to be working with my tutee and what is needed at the time. The whiteboard option with Zoom is only compatible through Zoom Rooms for touch. So for instance, you're going to need some sort of extra device such as an iPad that you can draw on to be able to use that whiteboard option. Polling needs to be set up in advance for Zoom. That can be a little bit frustrating if you are putting on some sort of workshop with the peer tutoring program and you spent all this time doing it and you planned on using a polling feature and you get into Zoom and you realize that you forgot to set up that feature in advance. You're not going to be able to use it during that meeting. Zoom tends to have some connectivity issues, at least for me. I've had some connectivity issues with Zoom, and I know some other people that have had the same issues. So that's something to be mindful of as well. Webex is pretty similar to Zoom. There's some pros and cons with Webex as well. A really great pro with Webex is that you can have an unlimited amount of participants at a time with your Samuel Merritt account. This allows for group tutoring sessions, or if you become a TA or NFT, that will be very beneficial. I'm actually using Webex right now. This is what the screen looks like. It's got great HD clarity. I just did a screenshot of that. The whiteboard option with Webex, in my opinion, is a con. I took a little video here of using the only writing tool that is available on the whiteboard option with Webex, and it comes out super chunky and can get really messy because you can't fit a whole lot on the whiteboard. Um, that is the only option. There's not a lot of features on the whiteboard, so the whiteboard doesn't, it's not a seller for me with Webex. Webex also tends to have some connectivity issues at times, so that's something to be aware of. Um, with the Samuel Merritt account that is offered to you, you do get free polling, free breakout rooms, and the recording option, which is why I'm using it right now. The recording option is great with WebEx because you can make the choice of uploading directly to the cloud, or you can download it to your hard drive. For me, I don't want any more space being taken up on my hard drive, so I really like the feature that you can just upload it straight to the cloud and it'll be there for you. Google Meets is one of my favorites. I'm kind of biased to Google Meets. It is the easiest to set up a quick meeting. You just type in meets.google.com and it'll bring you to this step one page. You can just click new meeting and then it'll bring this up. You can either create a meeting for later, so create a link with a future date and time, or you can start an instant meeting. So it's instantaneously meets.google.com and it'll bring you here and you can start a meeting right away. The Jamboards are my favorite with Google Meets. This is the best for an interactive model with 2Ds. It allows them to be writing on the whiteboard at the same time as you are. It's got a lot of different features on the whiteboard. I'll go into that into the next slide as well. Anyone can also screen share with Google Meets. So your 2D comes on, they're like, I want to show you what I've been going through. And they can just quickly screen share to you what they're currently working on. It also does have great clarity and quality. In my opinion, it's just as great as Zoom or WebEx. Some cons with Google Meets, however, are the polls, breakout rooms, and the recording options are part of the premium paid options. So if you do need to use one of those features, Google Meets might not be the choice of the day, but it's great otherwise. I really like it for the interactive model. So this is a few screenshots of what the Jamboards look like, and all of the Jamboards are saved for your future 2Ds to go back and review as well. They would just go type in Jamboard into the search bar and it's going to bring up all of their saved Jamboards, and they just automatically save. You don't have to click save or anything. They will save for them. So this is, I actually tutor school-age children as well. So this is some Jamboards that I was working on for math. It has options to put sticky notes on here. You can do different colors. So say your 2D wants to work in one color, you work in another color so you can see the contrasted work that you are working on side by side together. So again, this is a great interactive model. It's great for math concepts, so dimensional analysis, and then the boards are all saved for their future review if they need to go back to them, and as they're studying for an exam, they can review those. So it's really very, very valuable to your 2Ds in that sense. So just to summarize what to use and when to use, I bounce around with these different options. Zoom is great for dialectical one-on-one. A 2D just wants to meet, converse about certain topics, and just have a quick session. That's a great option. The HD clarity is awesome on that. Google Meets is excellent for the interactive model, MedMath, all of that, that would be a great option. Webex is a great option if you are doing group tutoring sessions or if you start to get into TA or NFT work. You'll be able to have multiple participants on at a time, and both Zoom and Webex are going to have recording options as well. So these are the different options you can use with the peer tutoring program, and they're the ones that I have found that are the best to bounce around with depending on what your needs are with your 2D for that day. Again, my name is Natalie Whiting, so feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions on the peer tutoring program. I will be the BSN tutor coordinator along with Isabella Wilson, who is also a BSN tutor coordinator for the remainder of this year, and she will be continuing forward as well. Thank you.